There was a lot wrong with the latest Star Wars film. It's more than fair to say that it killed an already tired and imaginative franchise. It was a nail to the coffin for the sequel trilogy. People were already not too happy with the direction the movies were going. The Force Awakens, despite being the most popular one, is considered by a lot of people, myself included, to be a weaker, blender version of the original Star Wars movie. And The Last Jedi is probably one of the most controversial films of the past decade. I enjoyed it and found it interesting, however. Not a great film by any stretch of the imagination, but a much better one than Rise of Skywalker. A movie that isn't just filled with mistakes and terrible decisions, its very conception is an error. The Emperor is back, and he sent a message to the entire galaxy announcing his return? Is this a joke? But today I'm not here to talk about everything that is wrong with this film. Maybe in a future video where I'll discuss the sequel trilogy as a whole. This time I want to address a particular plot point that not a lot of people have talked about. The importance of C-3PO. More specifically the fact that he sacrifices himself for the greater good. There's this big emotional scene that was even used in the trailers and then gets brought back like there was nothing to worry about. Let's start with the fact that C-3PO isn't a main character in the sequel trilogy. He's barely even a character. He didn't have anything to do with the events of The Force Awakens or The Last Jedi, so much so that the actor who plays him even had this to say. But for some reason they decided to expand his role and make him actually useful for the plot in this one. And since his personality had already been established in both the original and prequel trilogy, Disney saved itself the trouble of having to come up with an original character that fans might dislike. Like what happened with Rose.
Fighting what we hate. Saving what we love.
I don't hate C-3PO, he's a very funny and light-hearted character, but I can't say that he's one of my favorites. And despite that, I 100% loathe what they did to him in Rise of Skywalker. He was supposed to have this big important role, to the point where it was necessary to erase his memories and centrally killing him in order for the good guys to save the galaxy. They needed information about the location of one of the movie's many MacGuffins and had to force his brain to give them the info. I don't have a problem with that. I mean, this scene where he says he's taking one last look at his friends, this is complete horseshit. Maybe these characters have been on 100 adventures off screen and actually developed relationships with each other. But in terms of movies, yeah, nothing happened. It makes as much sense him saying this to Rey, Poe and Finn as it does him saying it to random people on the street. This is 100% bait. But since it was in the trailer, it wasn't that disappointing seeing it in the actual film. I was prepared for it. What I didn't know was that none of these supposed friends actually care about C-3PO. Barely a minute after he gives them the location and dies, Poe is already making a joke about how the new C-3PO is going to be annoying.
And you are?
Okay, that's going to be a problem.
Hello.
It's not just Poe, the movie itself jokes at C-3PO's sacrifice.
Look, I just had an idea of something else we could try.
Oh, boy.
Get it? We have this scene that is supposed to be emotional and heartwarming, and a few seconds later, let's crack a joke about the possibility of saving the galaxy that doesn't require C-3PO to die. I think the worst thing about this scene is that, besides trying to inject humor right after one of the main characters allowed himself to be killed for the greater good, is that Rey seems more concerned with her own issues about who she is, and everyone else in the room is also more curious about what's going on with her than they are for their supposed friend who suddenly stopped talking. This scene is an abomination, and it should have prepared me for the possibility of the film screwing things even further, but I was still shocked by their audacity with this scene. Yeah, let's just bring him back. Let's just have a scene where it turns out that R2-D2 had a backup of C-3PO's memories after all, completely negating the emotional scene from before. And doesn't this count as killing the new C-3PO? Well, who cares about that? Am I right, Disney? What matters is making as many jokes as possible so the audience doesn't have time to understand what's happening and just keeps on eating the garbage they are being fed. I hate this scene. I hate everything they did with C-3PO in this movie. And I don't even know why. I don't care that much about C-3PO. Or at least I thought I didn't. But watching this movie treat one of the most recognizable movie characters of all time like this, it pisses me off. They're just using him for whatever suits their needs, and they're not even being subtle about it. To go from what was supposed to be a heartwarming goodbye, to cracking jokes about the sacrifice, and then to bring back the character like nothing that happened has any sort of consequence. This is disgusting. I don't understand how there are people out there that actually enjoy this. The way C-3PO is treated is a great analogy for the way Disney treated this entire film. And just how I detest C-3PO's arc, I also detest this pile of horseshit. Anyway, Just wanted to bring light on something that not a lot of other reviewers have talked about. If I eventually do make an actual video on everything that's wrong with this film, oh boy, that's going to take a few years of my life. I just want to forget this whole trilogy ever happened at this point. And I liked the previous two movies, despite their flaws. Anyway, see you next time.